how to discipline your mind and transform your life with God's truth. Imagine waking up each morning, not weighed down by confusion or fear, but rising with a quiet certainty that your mind is your ally, not your enemy. Imagine walking through life with clarity, purpose, and peace, because your thoughts are not wild beasts dragging you into anxiety or defeat, but loyal servants steering you towards hope, courage, and truth. If you're watching this video right now, I believe it's not by accident. I believe there's something within you yearning to step into the person you were meant to be, to finally silence the noise inside your head that tells you you're not enough, that your past defines you, that change is impossible. I want to tell you that's a lie. And today, we're going to break those chains. So stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share with you how you can discipline your mind and transform your entire life, not through sheer human effort alone, but by aligning your mind with the truth that God placed inside you from the very beginning. If you feel even the slightest pull in your spirit right now, pause and do this one thing. Subscribe to this channel, because the journey we're starting today is not a single moment. It's a path of growth, of freedom, and of living as the person God designed you to be. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because there's more power and healing ahead than you could ever imagine. Let's begin. There's a reason why our thoughts feel so strong. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds we plant there, doubt, fear, anger, or faith, hope, and truth, those seeds will grow. You can water them or starve them, but they will always try to sprout. The challenge is that most people never take time to examine what's growing in the garden of their mind. They just live by default, reacting to emotions, letting negative narratives play like a broken record. Have you ever noticed how one single thought can change your entire day? You wake up feeling neutral, maybe even hopeful. Then one small thought pops into your mind. I'm a failure, or nothing ever works out for me, or I'll never be happy. And before you know it, you feel heavy. You feel discouraged. You find yourself snapping at your loved ones, withdrawing from the world, doubting your abilities, all from a single thought. This is why discipline of the mind is not optional if you want to transform your life. It's the very foundation of freedom. Because if you don't master your thoughts, they will master you. And the enemy of your soul would love nothing more than to keep you bound in mental prisons. Prisons built with invisible bars of fear, insecurity, and confusion. But I want to tell you something powerful today. Your mind was created to obey truth. When you feed your mind with lies, your entire body and spirit begin to react as if those lies are reality. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your sleep becomes restless, and your decisions become driven by fear instead of purpose. But when you train your mind to recognize truth, everything changes. Peace comes back. Clarity returns. You stop giving your power to fear, and you begin to walk in the confidence and strength that God always intended for you. When I say God's truth, I'm talking about the reality of who you truly are and who He is. It's the truth that you are loved, chosen, and capable of change. It's the truth that your past does not define your future. It's the truth that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Not because you're so strong, but because God's truth stands above every lie. But here's the key. Disciplining your mind is not about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing which reality you give power to. Will you empower the reality of fear, scarcity, shame, and despair, or the reality of hope, victory, forgiveness, and purpose? Discipline is not just an action. It's a habit. And a habit is built one moment, one choice at a time. It begins with becoming aware, because you cannot change a thought you don't even notice. The first step in disciplining your mind is to start catching the thoughts that slip in without your permission. Have you ever had a thought that came so fast you didn't even realize it was there until you suddenly felt discouraged or angry? That's how subtle it is. The mind can process tens of thousands of thoughts each day. Many of them slip beneath the surface, whispering lies so quietly that you think they're simply facts. That's why I challenge you today. Start listening. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to what you say to yourself. If you hear words like, "I'm stupid," "I can't," "Nobody cares," or "It's hopeless," stop. Don't let those words finish their sentence. Interrupt them. Speak out loud if you have to. Replace them with the truth. Because if you do not interrupt, the lie will become your reality. There was a time in my own life when I let my mind run wild. I would wake up already anxious. My thoughts raced, telling me everything I was not. How I was too broken, too behind, too imperfect. I felt like my life was stuck, as if my dreams were slipping further and further away. Then, one day, I realized something simple, but profound. I don't have to believe everything I think. Not every thought is true. Just because it came into my head, I could test it. I could question it. I could choose to replace it with a better thought. This was the first moment of true mental freedom. Because up until then, I thought every thought was a command I had to obey. I thought my feelings were facts. But feelings are not facts. They are signals. They're telling you what you're focusing on. Change the focus, and the feeling will follow. If what I'm saying is speaking to you right now, if you feel that pull in your spirit that this is the truth you've been waiting for, then share this video with someone who needs it. Don't keep this breakthrough to yourself. Let's help others find the same freedom. And comment below right now, "I choose truth," because speaking it out loud, even in the comments, is part of training your mind to declare truth over lies. One of the greatest tools God has given us for disciplining the mind is the power of words. Words are seeds. When you speak something out loud, you give it life. That's why even secular psychologists and coaches teach people to use affirmations. But what they don't always tell you is that it's not just positive thinking that changes you. It's speaking words that align with truth. For example, you can say, "I am learning and growing every day. I am not defined by my past mistakes. I am loved and I have purpose. God is working things out for my good. I can handle today with courage and peace." Every time you speak truth, it's like shining light into a dark place in your mind. Darkness cannot stay where there is light. But the key is consistency. You can't say it once and expect your entire mindset to transform. It's daily discipline. Another critical part of disciplining your mind is protecting your mental gates. Your eyes and ears are the gates to your soul. What you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time with, it all influences the thoughts that get planted in your mind. Ask yourself, are you constantly consuming news that fills you with fear? Do you scroll social media and compare your life to others until you feel worthless? Are you listening to music, podcasts, or conversations that pull your mind toward anger, lust, or despair? You have to guard your gates. Because if you're pouring in garbage, it will be impossible to keep your mind disciplined. You'll be fighting a battle you're helping fuel. So part of disciplining your mind is being ruthless about what you allow in. It doesn't mean you isolate yourself from the world, but you become wise. You choose what builds you up instead of what tears you down. Let me ask you this. What thoughts have been dominating your mind lately? Do they bring peace or anxiety? Do they empower you or enslave you? Do they align with hope or with fear? Because here's the truth. Your life will always move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If your strongest thoughts are toxic, your life will feel toxic. If your strongest thoughts are aligned with truth, your life will reflect freedom. And the most powerful truth you can hold on to today is that you are not helpless. You have the authority to choose what stays in your mind. I want you to picture something. Imagine your mind like a courtroom. Thoughts come in, presenting evidence. Some say, "You're worthless. You'll fail again. Nothing ever changes." Those are accusations. Lies presenting fake evidence. Now imagine yourself as the judge. You listen, but then you slam the gavel and say, "Objection, that's not true. I am loved. I am chosen. I am capable of growth. God has a purpose for my life." When you do that, you are disciplining your mind. You are refusing to let lies go unchallenged. You are building new neural pathways in your brain that make truth your default instead of fear. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. At first, it feels awkward. It feels fake. Your emotions may not agree right away, but keep speaking truth. Keep thinking truth. Eventually, your emotions will catch up to the new reality you're creating in your mind. Remember, transformation begins inside, long before it shows up outside. We're only getting started. In the next portion, we'll go even deeper into how to transform those stubborn thought patterns that feel impossible to break. You're going to learn practical steps to replace old mental habits with new ones, and how to maintain your discipline even on days when your feelings scream the opposite. If you're ready to keep growing, keep watching. And remember, you are stronger than you think, and God's truth is stronger than any lie. Imagine for a moment a world where your thoughts never spiral out of control. A world where you can feel stress trying to creep in, but you stop it before it takes over. Where you're no longer a prisoner of your emotions, but instead you're guiding them like a skilled captain steering a ship through a storm. This isn't just a dream. It's a reality waiting for you. And it starts with one truth. You are not your thoughts. Most people don't realize this. They believe that because a thought pops into their mind, it must be true, or that it defines who they are. But the truth is, a thought is simply a suggestion. It's not a command you have to obey. Your mind is like a radio receiver. It picks up signals from many places. Your memories, your environment, conversations you've had, things you've seen, things you fear, things you hope for. Not every signal is worth tuning into. And so, one of the most powerful disciplines you can develop is the ability to pause and examine your thoughts before you accept them. Think about it this way. If a stranger came up to you on the street and shouted, "You're worthless. You'll never succeed," would you automatically believe them? No. You'd think, "Who are you? Why should I believe you?" But when that same message floats through your mind in your own inner voice, you accept it without question. It's time to change that. From this moment forward, start treating every negative thought like a stranger who needs identification before entering your mental space. Demand credentials. Ask questions like, where did this thought come from? Is it based on facts or just feelings? Does this thought align with who I am and what God says about me? What happens if I keep thinking this way? When you do this, you interrupt the automatic pattern that's been controlling you. Let's talk about a very practical way to do this. It's a simple technique, but life-changing. Thought journaling Here's how it works. Whenever you feel anxious, angry, sad, or overwhelmed, pause and write down exactly what you're thinking. Don't filter it. Let the words pour out honestly onto the page. Then, look at what you've written and challenge every statement. If you wrote, "I'll never be good enough," write beside it, "Is that a fact or just a feeling? What evidence? Do I have to prove this thought wrong?" Often you'll realize the thought has no real evidence behind it. It's just fear dressed up as truth. Journaling slows down the mind. It pulls those swirling thoughts out of your head and puts them on paper where you can see them clearly. And when you can see them clearly, you can change them. There's something else you must understand about disciplining your mind. Emotions are followers, not leaders. Your emotions respond to your thoughts like flowers turning toward the sun. If your thoughts are focused on darkness, your emotions will feel dark. If your thoughts are focused on hope and possibility, your emotions will begin to lift. Many people live as though emotions are the master, and they are the slave. But you have the power to choose your focus. And when you choose your focus, you shape your feelings. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sad or anxious again. We're human. Emotions will still come and go, but you'll stop letting them decide your destiny. You'll feel the emotion, acknowledge it, and then gently choose to redirect your thoughts to what is true. Let's say you wake up one morning, feeling anxious. Your chest feels tight. Your mind starts racing. "I'm overwhelmed. I can't handle today. Everything is falling apart." Instead of spiraling deeper into that narrative, you stop. You take a deep breath. You speak out loud. "This feeling is not who I am. It's just a feeling. It will pass. I can handle today. I don't have to solve everything right now. God is with me. I will take one step at a time." Your emotions might not instantly vanish, but you've just exercised mental discipline. You've refused to let your feelings dictate your day. You've declared truth over fear. This is what transforming your life looks like. Not one dramatic moment, but hundreds of tiny decisions throughout each day to align your thoughts with truth instead of lies. Let's talk about the power of repetition. Your brain loves patterns. The more often you think a certain thought, the stronger the neural pathway becomes. It's like walking a path in a field. Walk it once, and the grass barely bends. Walk it every day and a trail appears. Many people feel stuck in negative thinking because those neural trails are deep and well-worn. But the good news is that your brain is also capable of change. It's called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Every time you replace a lie with truth, you're forging a new trail. At first, it feels unnatural. It feels forced. But keep walking the new path, and eventually, it becomes the new default. I remember a time when I struggled deeply with fear. It felt like a constant hum in the background of my life, whispering, "You're going to fail. People don't really like you. You're not capable of handling what's ahead." I'd lie awake at night replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow. I felt exhausted, yet my mind never rested. Then I discovered the power of speaking truth out loud. I started writing out declarations like, "I am loved and accepted. I am strong and courageous. My future is full of hope. I can face any challenge that comes my way." At first, it felt silly. It felt fake. My emotions did not agree. But I kept going, and something began to shift. One day, I realized my mind was quieter. I felt more peace. Fear didn't disappear completely, but it lost its grip, and I knew I was transforming from the inside out. If you're listening to this and thinking, "I don't know if I can do that," let me tell you, yes, you can. Because the same God who created your mind gave you the ability to renew it. If you believe there's hope for you, even if it's just a tiny spark, comment below right now. I am renewing my mind. Let's fill this comment section with declarations of freedom. Let's remind each other that we're not alone in this journey. Another essential part of disciplining your mind is learning the art of stillness. We live in a noisy world. Constant notifications, news headlines, social media scrolls. Our minds rarely get silence. But your mind needs quiet spaces to heal and reset. Have you ever noticed that the most anxious moments often come when you're overwhelmed by information? You're trying to process too much at once. The brain is like a computer. It can only run so many programs before it starts slowing down. That's why moments of silence and reflection are not a luxury. They're a necessity. I encourage you, at least once a day, to pause for 5 or 10 minutes. Turn off your phone. Sit quietly. Breathe deeply. And simply observe your thoughts without reacting to them. In that silence, you'll often hear a small, gentle voice reminding you of truth. Reminding you that you're safe. That you're loved. That the storm you're facing is not bigger than the one who created you. Some people fear silence because it forces them to hear their thoughts. But that's the very reason you should practice it. The only way to heal what's inside is to face it. When you bring your thoughts into the light, they lose their power to control you from the shadows. Think of it like this. Your mind is a room. Silence is turning on the light to see what's cluttering the floor. Once you see it, you can start cleaning it up. Let's talk about another critical aspect of mental discipline: gratitude. This isn't just some trendy positivity trick. Gratitude literally changes the chemistry of your brain. When you focus on gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that make you feel good and calm. Gratitude pulls your focus away from fear and scarcity and redirects it to what is good. Even if life isn't perfect, I want to challenge you right now. Think of 3 things you're grateful for today. Say them out loud. Write them in the comments. It could be a roof over your head, someone who loves you, the breath in your lungs. Gratitude is mental discipline. It trains your mind to look for light even in dark places, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Sometimes people say, "But my situation is so hard. I can't find anything to be thankful for." I understand. I've been there. But there's always something, even if it's as small as, "I'm still breathing. I'm still here. I have today." And sometimes that's enough to begin shifting your perspective. Here's a truth that many people overlook. Your mind follows your focus. If you focus on problems all day, your problems will look bigger. If you focus on possibilities, your courage grows. Whatever you magnify becomes your reality. Disciplining your mind is about choosing where to place your mental magnifying glass. You don't deny your problems exist, but you refuse to give them more power than they deserve. So let me ask you right now, what are you magnifying in your life? Are you magnifying fear, rejection, failure? Or are you magnifying hope, faith, and God's truth? Because the more you focus on truth, the smaller your problems will appear in comparison. As we move forward in this journey, I want you to remember this powerful principle. What you feed grows, what you starve dies. If you keep feeding negative thoughts with attention, they'll grow stronger. If you starve them by refusing to engage, they'll wither away. The same is true for positive, truthful thoughts. Feed them daily with repetition, meditation, and spoken words, and they'll grow into a mighty fortress in your mind. This journey of mental discipline is not about becoming perfect. It's not about never having a negative thought again. It's about reducing the power those thoughts have over you. It's about choosing your response. It's about reclaiming your mental space so you can live free. And the truth is, you're stronger than you feel. You have more resilience than you know. And with God's truth guiding you, there is no mental prison you can't break out of. We're going to keep building on these foundations. In the next part of this video, we're going to dive into practical strategies for turning daily mental discipline into lasting transformation. I'll share with you some techniques for rewiring your brain, handling setbacks, and keeping your mind anchored in peace even during chaos. So stay tuned, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the person who decides what thoughts get to stay. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your mind like a vast landscape. Some areas are lush and green, filled with life and beauty. Other areas are dry, cracked, barren. Some places are well-kept gardens, others are tangled with weeds. Your thoughts are like gardeners working in this landscape. They plant seeds, pull weeds, water the soil, or sometimes neglect it altogether. The condition of your mental landscape determines how you feel, how you act, and how you experience your life. The beautiful truth is that you have authority over what grows in your mental garden. You're not powerless. Even if weeds have taken over parts of your mind for years, it's never too late to reclaim that territory. Today, we're going deeper into the practical tools that will help you transform that mental landscape into a place of peace, strength, and purpose. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for mental discipline: mental rehearsal. Elite athletes use this all the time. Before they ever step onto the field or the track, they see themselves performing perfectly in their minds. They imagine the feeling, the movements, the success. Studies show that mental rehearsal actually builds neural pathways similar to physical practice. This principle is just as powerful for your spiritual and emotional life. Instead of rehearsing fear, failure, or worst-case scenarios, begin rehearsing victory. Visualize yourself waking up with peace, handling a stressful conversation with calmness, responding to fear with courage, walking confidently into new opportunities. See it, feel it, repeat it. The more you rehearse positive outcomes in your mind, the more your brain accepts them as possible, and eventually, as probable. For example, if you often struggle with social anxiety, rehearse in your mind walking into a room, standing tall, making eye contact, and feeling at ease. Imagine conversations flowing smoothly. See yourself leaving the room feeling proud and connected. At first, it might feel awkward, but the brain doesn't know the difference between an imagined experience and a real one. It processes both the same way, so why not feed it images that build faith rather than fear? Another practical tool for disciplining your mind is learning to pause before reacting. So often, we react automatically. Someone says something hurtful, and we snap back. A problem arises, and we panic. We see a disappointing result, and we instantly fall into discouragement. But here's the secret. Between every stimulus and your response, there's a space. That tiny gap is your place of power. In that space, you get to choose how to respond instead of letting emotions hijack your actions. Here's a practical exercise for creating that space. Pause. When you feel triggered, don't speak or act right away. Breathe. Take a slow breath in. Hold it for a moment, and exhale slowly. Ask yourself questions. What is true in this moment? Am I about to react or respond? What would the best version of me do right now? These few seconds can completely change your outcomes. Instead of creating regret, you create peace and wisdom. Let's talk about another powerful truth. Your brain loves clarity. A mind left in confusion breeds anxiety. When you feel overwhelmed, your thoughts swirl in circles because your brain is searching for certainty. One powerful discipline is to write down your thoughts when you feel overwhelmed. Get the chaos out of your head and onto paper. Then, sort through it. Ask, what problem am I actually facing? What's the first small step I can take? What am I assuming that might not be true? Clarity reduces anxiety because it transforms your problems from huge, shapeless fears into concrete issues you can tackle step by step. Another key aspect of mental discipline is choosing your perspective intentionally. Two people can face the exact same situation and experience it completely differently based on how they interpret it. One sees an obstacle and says, "This means I'm a failure." The other sees the obstacle and says, "This is an opportunity to grow." The circumstance didn't change. The perspective did. Consider the story of a man who lost his job. He could think, "I'm worthless. I'll never find another job. My life is over." Or he could think, "This is painful, but maybe God is redirecting me to something better. I can use this time to develop new skills. I am still valuable." Same event. Two entirely different outcomes, emotionally and spiritually. Your power lies in choosing which lens you look through. There was a woman I once knew who faced a severe health diagnosis. At first, she was terrified. Her thoughts spiraled into darkness. "I'm going to die. My life is over. Why me?" But then, she decided to discipline her mind. She began speaking truth every day. "I am still here. I will fight. I will not let fear control my days. I am grateful for today." She started writing letters to her family, recording memories, focusing on moments of joy. Her situation didn't change overnight, but her spirit transformed. She radiated peace, even in uncertainty. People around her were amazed. They'd say, "How are you so strong?" And she'd smile and say, "I choose my thoughts every day." Let's talk about dealing with setbacks. Even when you're working hard to discipline your mind, you'll have days when old thought patterns sneak back in. You'll feel discouraged and wonder, "Why am I not further along?" Let me tell you something critical. Progress is not perfection. Mental discipline is like building a muscle. You don't go to the gym once and expect lifelong strength. It takes repetition. And some days, you'll feel stronger than others. On the tough days, remind yourself, this is a temporary feeling. I've come further than I think. God's truth is still true, even if I feel weak. Don't let a bad day convince you you're back to square one. You're not. Every effort counts. One of the most liberating truths I've learned is that your past does not have to dictate your future. Many people remain trapped because they believe they're doomed to repeat yesterday's patterns. They say, "I've always been anxious. I'll always be anxious. I failed before. I'll fail again. This is just who I am." But that's not truth. That's conditioning. You can choose new thoughts. You can create new habits. You can build a new identity rooted in truth instead of trauma. Try this today. Write down a negative identity statement you believe. For example, "I'm a failure." Then write the truth beside it. For example, "I am learning and growing. I am not defined by my mistakes." Read the truth statement every day for 30 days. Watch how it begins to change how you see yourself. Here's another key principle. Your mind seeks evidence to support what it believes. If you believe you're a failure, your mind will notice every mistake and ignore your successes. If you believe you're loved and capable, your mind will begin noticing every small victory and moment of grace. So deliberately, feed your mind with evidence of truth. Keep a success journal. Each day, write one thing you did well. Celebrate small wins. Speak out loud the moments when you handled things better than before. This builds a case for truth in your mind, making it harder for lies to take root. If you're ready to fight for your freedom, share this video with someone who needs hope. Let's spread this message of transformation. And type below right now, I am transforming my mind, because declaring it publicly is another step toward making it your reality. I want to talk about the power of environment. Your mind is heavily influenced by your surroundings. You can't keep trying to build faith in an environment saturated with negativity. Ask yourself, who are the people I spend time with? What conversations dominate my day? What media am I consuming? If your environment constantly pours fear, gossip, or doubt into your mind, it's going to be an uphill battle to stay disciplined. Sometimes, mental discipline means making hard choices about boundaries. It means limiting time with people who drain you. It means choosing uplifting content instead of doom scrolling. It means filling your space with reminders of truth, sticky notes on your mirror, music that lifts your spirit, books that inspire you. Another crucial part of disciplining your mind is prayer and meditation. You don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to use fancy words. Just talk to God like a friend. Tell Him your thoughts, your fears, your dreams. Listen quietly for His gentle reminders of truth. Meditation doesn't mean emptying your mind. It means filling it with the truth. Focus on a phrase like, I am loved. God is with me. Peace surrounds me. Sit quietly and breathe, letting those words soak into your spirit. This practice calms your nervous system, lowers stress, and helps rewire your brain toward peace. Finally, remember this. Transformation is a lifelong journey. Some days you'll feel on top of the world. Other days you'll feel like you've taken 10 steps backward. Don't let discouragement stop you. You're building something eternal inside you. You're fighting for freedom, not just for yourself, but for everyone who will be touched by your transformed life. Because the truth is, a disciplined mind becomes a powerful force for good. When you discipline your mind, you speak words that heal instead of harm. Make choices from wisdom instead of fear. Inspire others just by how you carry yourself. Face challenges with quiet confidence. Walk in peace even when storms rage. This is how you transform not just your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. So stay with me, because in the next part of this video, we'll dive deeper into how to create daily routines that lock in these new mental habits. We'll talk about building momentum so that mental discipline becomes part of who you are, not something you have to force. Remember, you are stronger than your thoughts, and God's truth is stronger than any lie. Imagine, for a moment, standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind whipping around you, the vast landscape stretched out below. The drop is dizzying, but the view is breathtaking. That's how it feels to stand on the edge of transformation. It's both terrifying and thrilling, because you know you're leaving behind the old and stepping into the new. And that's exactly where you are right now. You're standing on the threshold of a new life. A life where your mind doesn't control you. You control it. A life where peace, purpose, and freedom become your normal state. But how do you make this discipline a daily reality instead of just a momentary inspiration? Let's dive into the routines and habits that lock in everything we've talked about so far. Because here's the truth. Discipline thrives in structure. The first daily routine I want to share with you is the morning mindset ritual. The way you start your day shapes the way you think, feel, and act for the rest of it. If you start your day reacting, to your phone, to emails, to the news. Your mind becomes a battlefield before you've even had breakfast. But if you start your day intentionally, you set the tone for mental discipline. Here's a simple but powerful morning ritual. Silence. 5 minutes. Before checking your phone, sit in silence. Breathe deeply. Let your mind settle. Listen for the gentle voice of truth within you. Speak truth. 5 minutes. Declare positive statements out loud. For example, today I choose peace over fear. I am loved and capable. My mind serves me, not the other way around. Gratitude. 3 minutes. List 3 things you're thankful for. Big or small. Gratitude rewires your mind to look for blessings instead of problems. Vision. 2 minutes. Visualize one goal or positive scenario. See yourself handling it with strength, calmness, and confidence. Even just 10-15 minutes each morning can completely transform your mental landscape. You'll notice your reactions slowing down, your stress lowering, your thoughts becoming more aligned with truth. This is how discipline starts. Not with huge leaps, but with small daily choices. Let's talk about another daily practice. Mental check-ins. Throughout your day, pause occasionally and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Are my thoughts empowering me or draining me? Do I need to redirect my focus? These small check-ins keep you from drifting back into old patterns. They snap you out of autopilot and bring you back into intentional living. For example, you might catch yourself replaying a mistake from earlier in the day. Stop and say, that moment is over. I learned from it. I'm moving forward. This is mental discipline in action. Another crucial routine is evening reflection. Before bed, take a few moments to review your day. Where did you handle your thoughts well? Where did you struggle? Celebrate small victories. Even noticing a negative thought and choosing not to dwell on it is a win. Speak truth over your tomorrow. Remind yourself that each new day is a fresh start. End your day with peace instead of worry. This trains your subconscious mind to expect good things as you sleep. Now let's talk about one of the most important secrets to mental discipline: pre-deciding your responses. Many of us lose mental battles because we wait until we're in the heat of the moment to decide how we'll respond. By then, our emotions are high, and we default to old habits. Instead, decide in advance how you'll respond to triggers. For example, if someone criticizes me, I'll pause, breathe, and remind myself that their opinion doesn't define my worth. If fear whispers that I'm not good enough, I'll speak truth out loud. I am chosen and capable. If I feel overwhelmed, I'll step away for 5 minutes and pray. Pre-deciding takes the guesswork out of discipline. You're no longer caught off guard. You're prepared. Let's talk about the concept of mental diet. Just like your body reflects what you feed it, your mind reflects the content you consume. Take a moment to think about your mental diet. What shows are you watching? What music are you listening to? What accounts are you following on social media? What conversations fill your day? Is your mental diet filled with hope, wisdom, and truth? Or with fear, gossip, and negativity? If you want a disciplined mind, you must become intentional about your mental inputs. Here's a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, audit your mental diet. Whenever you're about to consume content, ask, will this feed my faith or my fear? Will this build me up or tear me down? Then choose accordingly. Replace one negative input each day with something positive. An uplifting video, an inspiring podcast, peaceful music, or simply silence? Let me tell you a story. I once worked with a man who struggled with crippling anxiety. Every day, he consumed hours of news, social media debates, and negative conversations. His mind was in constant turmoil. I challenged him to replace just 1 hour each day with peaceful music and affirmations. Within 2 weeks, he felt calmer. Within a month, his panic attacks decreased dramatically. He didn't eliminate all problems in his life, but he changed his mental diet, and that changed his mental state. Another daily discipline is movement. Your mind and body are deeply connected. Physical movement helps process stress, improve mental clarity, and release hormones that stabilize your mood. You don't have to become a fitness fanatic. A simple walk around the block, stretching for 10 minutes, gentle exercise. These small actions remind your body and your mind that you're alive, strong, and capable. Movement also creates mental space for solutions to rise to the surface. Many breakthroughs happen when you're moving, not when you're sitting and forcing thoughts. Now let's talk about the discipline of speaking truth, even when you don't feel it. This is one of the hardest parts of mental discipline because feelings often scream the opposite of truth. You might feel, I'm a failure. I'm not lovable. Nothing will ever change. In those moments, your feelings feel real. But feelings are not facts. They are temporary states, not permanent truths. When feelings and truth clash, choose to speak truth, out loud, even trembling, even whispering. There's power in hearing your own voice declare what's true. Say, I am loved, even when I feel alone. I am capable, even when I feel afraid. This moment will pass. I will not stay stuck here. At first, it may feel fake. That's normal. But the more you speak truth, the more your emotions will begin to align with it. Another daily discipline that transforms your mind is service. Serving others shifts your focus from your own worries to the needs of someone else. It reminds you that your life has purpose beyond your struggles. It could be encouraging a friend, helping someone carry groceries, volunteering your time, sending a kind message. Service disciplines your mind to look outward instead of getting trapped in cycles of self-focus. It builds gratitude, empathy, and perspective. One more vital practice: rest. Many people try to discipline their minds through endless effort, never pausing to breathe. But your mind cannot thrive without rest. Even God rested. Rest isn't laziness, it's preparation. It refuels your spirit. It clears mental clutter. It helps you hear truth more clearly. Schedule rest into your life. A quiet walk, listening to peaceful music, time away from screens, simply sitting in silence. Your mind will thank you for it. As we wrap up this portion, remember this: mental discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. Discipline doesn't chain you. It liberates you. It removes the chaos and gives you clarity. It lifts the weight of constant fear and confusion and replaces it with confidence and peace. So let's summarize some of the daily disciplines that build a strong mind. Morning rituals to start your day with truth. Mental check-ins to stay present and intentional. Evening reflections to close the day in peace. Pre-deciding your responses to triggers. Auditing your mental diet. Moving your body to support your mind. Speaking truth despite feelings. Serving others to shift your focus outward. Scheduling rest to keep your mind healthy. These are not just routines. They're weapons. Tools for victory. Steps toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Imagine your life 6 months from now if you practiced even a few of these disciplines daily. Your reactions would be calmer. Your thoughts clearer. your sense of purpose stronger. And you'd realize that you're not just surviving, you're living fully and freely. If you're feeling stirred right now, if you know it's time for you to build these disciplines, commit right now in the comments. Type, "I choose discipline and freedom," because speaking it out is the first act of mental discipline. We're not done yet. In the next part, we're going to dive deeper into how to sustain mental discipline long-term. Even when life throws curveballs, I'll share ways to anchor your mind so that even in storms, you remain steady. Remember, your mind was created to serve you, not to enslave you. Keep going. You're worth it. Think of your mind as a mighty river. When the river is channeled, it brings life, irrigating fields, nourishing communities, generating power. But when it overflows its banks, it can become destructive, flooding villages and washing away foundations. Mental discipline is about building strong banks for your river. It's about giving your mind a path to flow, a direction that leads to life rather than chaos. But here's the challenge so many people face. How do you stay disciplined when life gets hard? When unexpected storms come, it's easy for the river to flood. Old thought patterns try to return. Fear creeps in. Doubt whispers again. So today, let's talk about how to anchor mental discipline so it lasts through seasons of struggle, not just on the good days. One of the most powerful ways to sustain mental discipline is through identity statements. An identity statement is not simply a positive affirmation. It's a deep declaration of who you choose to be regardless of circumstances. For example, I am a person who seeks truth, even when I feel fear. I am someone who responds with grace under pressure. I am a child of God, and my value does not depend on others' opinions. I am committed to growth, even when it's hard. These statements become your anchor. When chaos tries to pull you under, your identity statement reminds you of who you truly are. Let's imagine a scenario. You're facing a difficult day. Everything seems to go wrong. Old thoughts creep in. I can't handle this. I'm failing again. Instead of spiraling, you pause and declare your identity. I am a person who can handle challenges with courage. I may feel overwhelmed, but I am not defeated. I will take one step at a time. Instantly, you feel a shift inside. Your circumstances haven't changed, but your mindset has. This is how you anchor discipline in the storms. Another way to sustain mental discipline is to expect resistance. Too many people believe that if they start thinking positively, life will suddenly become smooth. But discipline is forged in challenge. When you begin replacing lies with truth, your old thought patterns don't disappear quietly. They fight back. Your brain is used to the old pathways. The new ones feel foreign, even uncomfortable. Expect it. Prepare for it. Remind yourself, this resistance means I'm growing. When you hit a day where your thoughts feel like a battlefield, don't assume you're failing. You're in training. You're building mental muscle. I often compare this process to learning a new language. At first, it's awkward. You stumble over words. You forget phrases. But with practice, the new language becomes second nature. Mental discipline is the same. At first, it feels unnatural to stop negative thoughts or speak truth out loud. But keep going. One day you'll catch yourself responding with peace automatically. Another essential anchor is accountability. Disciplining your mind is a personal journey, but it doesn't have to be a lonely one. Share your journey with someone you trust. It could be a close friend, a mentor, a small group. Tell them, I'm working on disciplining my mind. When I'm struggling, Can I reach out to you? Can you remind me of truth when I forget? Accountability does two things. It breaks shame. When you hide your struggles, they grow in the dark. Bringing them into the light robs them of power. It gives you support. On the days you feel weak, someone else can lend you their strength. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah battled overwhelming anxiety for years. She tried to manage it alone, feeling embarrassed about her struggles. One day she confided in a friend who gently reminded her of truth, encouraged her, and checked in regularly. Slowly, Sarah found freedom, not because her problems vanished, but because she had someone speaking life into her when her mind tried to spiral. Never underestimate the power of a single voice, reminding you of who you truly are. Let's talk about compassion for yourself. This might surprise you, but compassion is a critical part of mental discipline. Some people think discipline means being harsh with themselves. They believe they have to scold or shame themselves into change. But shame never creates lasting transformation. It only drives your struggles deeper. Instead, discipline says, I see where I fell back into old thoughts today. But I'm learning. I forgive myself. Tomorrow, I'll try again. Self-compassion allows you to keep going, instead of giving up when you slip. Think about how you'd speak to a child learning to ride a bike. If they fell, you wouldn't scream, "You're hopeless. You'll never ride a bike." You'd say, "It's okay. Let's try again." Treat yourself with the same kindness. Your mind is learning new habits. Growth takes time. Here's another powerful anchor: perspective. Sometimes a single problem feels like the end of the world, but when you step back, you see it's only one chapter in a much bigger story. Ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? What could I learn from this? How might God use this for good? Perspective shrinks problems to their true size and reminds you that you are more than any single moment. I remember a season when I faced repeated disappointments. It felt crushing at the time. But looking back, I can see how each closed door led me somewhere better. Perspective revealed that what felt like failure was actually redirection. Your story is still unfolding. Don't judge it too soon. Another powerful tool to sustain discipline is celebrating progress. So often, we focus on how far we have to go that we forget how far we've come. Today, pause and ask, what old thought patterns have I already begun to change? When was the last time I responded to a trigger differently? Where have I noticed more peace? Celebrate these victories. They're evidence that transformation is happening. Let's talk about managing mental triggers. A mental trigger is anything that sparks old thought patterns. It might be certain places, certain people, particular words or memories. Identify your triggers. Write them down. Then decide in advance how you'll handle them. For example, if social media triggers comparison, limit your time online. If a conversation triggers shame, prepare statements to protect your peace. Avoiding triggers isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Over time, you'll grow stronger, and those triggers will lose power. Another practice that anchors discipline is gratitude during difficulty. Anyone can be grateful when life is easy. True discipline is finding something to thank God for even in pain. You might pray, "God, this situation is hard, but I thank you that you're still with me. I thank you for the breath in my lungs. I thank you for hope, even when I can't see it." Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it brings light into dark places. Let's discuss guarding your language. The words you speak shape the direction of your mind. Even joking statements like, "I'm so stupid," nothing ever works out for me, can carve deep grooves in your thinking. Train yourself to speak words of life. I'm learning. I'm growing stronger. This is temporary. I'll get through it. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about refusing to give your voice to lies. One more vital anchor. Faith over feelings. Feelings are powerful, but they're not always truthful. They're like weather. They change. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you'll feel low. Discipline says, my feelings are real, but they're not always right. I choose to believe truth over how I feel. This is maturity. It's choosing to keep walking even when your feelings scream, stop. Here's a truth that sets people free. Freedom is not the absence of bad thoughts. It's the power to choose your response. Even the most disciplined minds still face moments of fear, temptation, or doubt. The difference is, they don't let those thoughts drive the bus. Instead, they say, I see you, fear, but you're not in charge. I'm choosing truth. That's freedom. Let me remind you, you're doing better than you think. You're watching this video because something in you refuses to stay stuck. That's evidence of growth. That's evidence that God is working in you. Don't measure your journey by how you feel in this moment. Measure it by your willingness to keep showing up. Keep trying. Keep believing. If this message is speaking to you, share it with someone who might be struggling. You never know how your act of sharing might change a life. And type below right now, I choose faith over feelings. Let's fill the comments with declarations of truth. We're nearing the end of our journey together, but we're not finished yet. In the next part, we're going to bring it all together. We'll talk about the legacy of a disciplined mind and how your transformation doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you. Because the ultimate purpose of disciplining your mind is not just for your own peace. It's so you can shine as a light in a dark world. Remember this. Your mind is a powerful servant. Train it well, and it will serve you all the days of your life. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing at the edge of a quiet lake at sunrise. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the pink and golden hues of dawn. There's a hush in the air, a sense of sacredness. You stand there, breathing, in the cool morning, feeling calm, peaceful, clear. That is what a disciplined mind feels like. A still lake, able to reflect light rather than churn with storms. But let's be honest, life doesn't always feel like that lake. It often feels more like crashing waves, high winds, and roaring thunder. So how do we carry this peace into a chaotic world? How do we keep our minds steady when circumstances around us are not? Let's talk about building a legacy of mental discipline. A way of living where your inner life remains anchored, no matter what comes. First, we must realize that discipline is a daily choice, not a single victory. Some people hope for a breakthrough moment where suddenly all negative thoughts disappear. They imagine waking up one day never to struggle again. But true transformation is built through repeated faithful choices. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't do it once and say, good, I'm done for life. Mental discipline works the same way. Every day, you wake up and choose. Will I feed my mind truth or lies? Will I focus on fear or on hope? Will I let my emotions rule me or choose my response? This is why small daily habits matter more than big, one-time events. Let's talk about the power of small beginnings. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed by how far we have to go. We think, I have so many negative thoughts. How can I ever change? I've been this way for years. It's hopeless. But never underestimate the power of small seeds. A mighty oak begins as a tiny acorn. A single thought can spark a new way of life. Maybe your first step is replacing one negative thought each day, speaking one truth out loud in the morning, taking a 5-minute pause when feeling anxious. Small steps compound over time. One day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Right now, think of one small change you can make today to discipline your mind. It could be as simple as, I will speak one truth statement each morning. I will write down one negative thought and challenge it. I will take 5 deep breaths before reacting. Write it down. Commit to it for 1 week. Small steps build big changes. Another key to building a legacy of discipline is understanding that your thoughts affect everyone around you. Your mental state isn't just about you. It ripples outward into your relationships, your work, your family, your entire world. A peaceful mind speaks kindness instead of harshness. A hopeful mind inspires courage in others. A disciplined mind models strength during crises. People around you watch how you handle struggles. They listen to how you speak about yourself and the world. Whether you know it or not, you're leading others with your example. Let me share a story. I knew a man who used to be overwhelmed with anger and anxiety. He'd snap at his family, withdraw from friends, and spiral into dark moods. But he began practicing mental discipline, speaking truth, praying, challenging his thoughts. Months later, his wife said to him, I feel safer in our home. The kids are calmer. There's peace here now. His transformation didn't just change his life. It transformed his entire family atmosphere. That's the power of mental discipline. Another principle to remember is that discipline becomes easier when it's tied to purpose. If you're only disciplining your mind because you should, it will feel like drudgery. But when you connect it to your bigger purpose, you gain motivation. Ask yourself, who am I becoming through this discipline? How will my life look different when my mind is free? Who will benefit from my freedom? Your purpose might be to be a peaceful parent for your children, to become a leader who inspires others, to finally pursue a dream you've buried for years. When discipline serves a higher calling, it becomes a joy, not a burden. Let's talk about choosing faith over fear. Fear is loud. It screams worst-case scenarios. It paints vivid pictures of rejection, failure, and loss. Faith, by contrast, often speaks quietly. It whispers, there's hope. This isn't the end. You're stronger than you know. A disciplined mind learns to turn down the volume of fear and lean into the quiet voice of faith. Here's a simple tool. When fear speaks, ask, is this fear speaking truth, or is it simply trying to protect me from discomfort? What would faith say about this situation? Then deliberately choose the thought faith would speak, even if you don't feel it yet. Choosing faith over fear begins to change the narrative in your mind. Another crucial aspect of a disciplined mind is keeping an eternal perspective. So often we get tangled in daily problems and lose sight of the bigger picture. A disciplined mind steps back and asks, in light of eternity, how important is this problem? How can I respond in a way that honors truth and love? When you view your challenges through the lens of eternity, temporary troubles lose some of their power. You remember that there's a bigger story unfolding, and your current struggle is just one page in that story. Let's talk about releasing control. Many mental battles arise because we're trying to control things we simply can't. We stress over other people's opinions, the future, outcomes we can't predict. Mental discipline means learning to release control and trust. You can still act wisely, plan, and prepare. But you let go of the illusion that you must control everything to be safe. When you surrender outcomes, your mind relaxes. Peace flows in. You realize that your job is obedience and discipline. The results are not always in your hands. Think of one thing right now that's been causing you mental stress because you're trying to control it. It could be someone else's behavior, a decision you're waiting for, an outcome you fear. Say out loud, I release control of this situation. I choose to focus on what I can do today. I trust that the rest will unfold as it should. This is mental discipline. It's choosing peace over striving. Another powerful anchor is humility. Disciplining your mind doesn't mean thinking you have all the answers. It means remaining teachable. It means admitting when you need help. It means understanding that growth is a lifelong journey. Humility allows you to say, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. I need help right now, and that's okay. I'm still growing, and I'm proud of that. Humility opens your mind to new insights and keeps you soft-hearted, even in discipline. One of the deepest truths I've learned is this: a disciplined mind is not a rigid mind. It's a free mind. Some people think discipline means squeezing all spontaneity out of life. But real discipline creates room for freedom. It clears away clutter so you can see clearly. It removes chaos so you can hear truth. A disciplined mind reacts less and responds more, holds on to peace even when storms rage, chooses hope when fear shouts loudest, knows when to speak and when to stay silent. This is the ultimate freedom, living from a place of clarity and strength rather than being pushed around by every thought or feeling. I want you to remember, you are not failing because you still have battles in your mind. Having mental battles means you're human. The difference now is that you're fighting those battles instead of surrendering to them. Every time you choose truth over lies, even for a single moment, you're winning. Every time you speak hope instead of despair, you're winning. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you're winning. Transformation is built moment by moment, thought by thought. Let's talk about the ripple effect of your transformation. Imagine a pond. You drop a single pebble into it, and ripples spread out in every direction. In the same way, your mental discipline touches countless lives you may never even realize. Your peaceful words calm someone else's anxiety. Your faith inspires hope in someone silently struggling. Your presence becomes a refuge for people facing storms. When you discipline your mind, you become a carrier of peace and strength in a chaotic world. You become a light in dark places. Let me share one more story. There was a woman who faced many struggles: abuse, loss, rejection. For years, her mind was filled with darkness, but she began disciplining her thoughts, speaking truth, praying, surrounding herself with positive influences. Years later, people began seeking her out for comfort. They said, "You're so peaceful. How do you stay calm?" She'd smile and say, "I've learned how to guard my mind." Her transformation wasn't just for her. It was for everyone whose life she touched. That's what mental discipline does. It multiplies freedom. So as we come toward the close of our journey, I want you to hear this. You are capable of disciplining your mind. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have the power to choose, to redirect, to replace lies with truth. And every single act of discipline you practice builds a life of peace and purpose. This isn't just about feeling better. It's about becoming the person you were created to be. It's about living free so you can help others find freedom too. If this journey has spoken to your heart, share this video. Let's spread hope together. And comment below, "I will discipline my mind and live free." Let's flood this video with declarations of freedom and faith, because you're not alone in this. We're walking this journey together. In our final part, we're going to wrap it all up and talk about the legacy you'll leave behind as someone who has disciplined their mind with God's truth. Because your transformation is just the beginning of a much bigger story. Remember this always. Your mind is a powerful gift. Train it well, and it will transform not only your life, but the world around you. Picture yourself standing in the warm glow of a sunset, the sky awash in brilliant orange and gold. The light touches your face, and for a moment, you feel utterly still, aware of how precious this life is. That's what discipline does. It creates space to actually feel moments like this. Instead of your mind being consumed by anxiety or regrets, you're present, you're alive, you're free. But this journey we've been on isn't just for your own peace. It's for the legacy you'll leave behind. Because when you discipline your mind, you're not just transforming your own life, you're planting seeds that will grow into forests for generations to come. Today, let's talk about that legacy. About how the disciplined mind you're building becomes a light for others, a ripple that spreads far beyond anything you might ever see. One of the most beautiful truths about mental discipline is that it's contagious. When people see you, responding calmly instead of with anger, speaking hope instead of fear, maintaining joy in the middle of difficulty, they start to wonder, how are you doing that? They'll come to you. They'll ask, how are you so peaceful? Or, how do you stay hopeful when things are hard? And that's when you get to share the truth. That you've learned to discipline your mind. That you've stopped believing every fearful thought. That you've chosen truth over lies. Your life becomes a living testimony. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Clara who struggled with panic attacks. For years, her children watched her retreat into fear. She was exhausted, distant, and often sad. Then Clara began her journey of mental discipline. She started speaking truth each morning. She prayed. She challenged the fearful thoughts. Slowly, her children noticed the change. One day, her teenage daughter came to her and said, "Mom, I don't know what's different, but the house feels safer. You seem happy. I want to learn how to do what you're doing." That's the ripple effect. Clara's discipline didn't just change her. It changed her family. Her children learned a new way to handle life because they saw it modeled in their mother. Here's something powerful to remember. You don't have to preach to leave a legacy. You simply have to live differently. Your peace will speak louder than any words. When you stay calm during conflict, when you forgive instead of holding grudges, when you speak life instead of criticism, you're showing others what's possible. Another beautiful part of leaving a legacy is that you become a safe place for people. We live in a world where everyone's mind feels overwhelmed. People are anxious, angry, depressed. They don't know where to turn. A disciplined mind creates a sense of safety. People feel it in your presence. They know you won't explode in anger or spiral into fear or judge them harshly. They feel seen, heard, and valued. Think of someone in your life who was always calm, even when things were hard. Someone whose presence felt like peace. That's what you're becoming. That's the legacy you're building. One powerful way to keep this legacy alive is through your words. Words have a lifespan. Things you say today can echo for years in someone's mind. A single sentence can set someone free. A gentle truth can break a lie they've believed for decades. A word of encouragement can help someone keep going. Don't underestimate the power of simple words like, "You're stronger than you think." This is not the end for you. You're growing. even if you can't see it yet. God's truth is bigger than your feelings. These seeds you plant today will become trees that shelter others tomorrow. Think of one person in your life who might be struggling mentally or emotionally. Today, reach out and speak a word of life to them. It could be a text, a call, a note, even a single sentence. You might say, "I just wanted to remind you that you're capable of overcoming this. I believe in the strength inside you. I'm here for you, no matter what." That's how legacies are built, one person at a time. Another vital part of your legacy is living transparently. Many people think that in order to help others, they have to have it all together. That's a lie. Your struggles don't disqualify you. They make you relatable. When you're honest about your journey, others see that transformation is possible for them too. You might say, "I used to feel hopeless too. I still have days where fear tries to come back. I'm not perfect, but I'm committed to truth." Authenticity breaks down walls. It invites people to step out of hiding and begin their own journey of discipline. Another crucial legacy principle: your disciplined mind empowers your purpose. God designed you with unique gifts and dreams, but so many people never walk in their purpose because their minds hold them captive. Fear whispers, "You're not good enough." Doubt says, "Who do you think you are?" Shame insists, "Your past disqualifies you." But a disciplined mind breaks those chains. It clears the clutter so you can hear the call on your life. It gives you courage to step into the things you were born to do. I want you to imagine something. Imagine 5 years from now. You're standing on a stage, speaking encouragement to others. You've written a book that's helping thousands. You're leading a business that changes lives. You're raising children who are secure, confident, and kind. Whatever your purpose is, it becomes possible because you've learned to discipline your mind. You're no longer sabotaging yourself with fear or lies. Another part of legacy is teaching others the tools you've learned. Imagine the impact if everyone knew how to interrupt negative thoughts, speak truth over lies, choose faith over fear, guard their mental gates. Don't keep these tools to yourself. Teach them to your kids, your friends, your community. You might say, when a negative thought comes, ask if it's true. Start your day speaking life over yourself. Write down your anxious thoughts and challenge them. Passing on these tools creates generational freedom. Let's talk about the legacy of peace. A disciplined mind leaves a fragrance of peace wherever it goes. It changes the atmosphere in your home, your workplace, your friendships, your community. People may not even realize what's different, but they'll feel safer, calmer, lighter when they're around you. This is why mental discipline matters so much. You're not just fighting for your own mind. You're fighting for every person who will find shelter in your peace. Another legacy principle is forgiveness. A disciplined mind learns to release bitterness quickly. It doesn't replay offenses over and over, poisoning the soul. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending something didn't hurt. It means choosing not to let it control your thoughts any longer. When you forgive, you model freedom. You show people that pain doesn't have to define them. Your legacy becomes one of grace instead of generational wounds. Say this out loud right now. I choose to discipline my mind, not just for myself, but for the generations to come. My freedom will become someone else's freedom. My peace will create ripples of hope. Another powerful legacy principle: joy. Joy isn't the absence of hardship. It's choosing to look for beauty even in broken places. A disciplined mind learns to laugh even during struggles, find blessings in small moments, refuse to let darkness steal its light. People are drawn to joyful souls, They want to know the secret. Joy is part of your legacy. Let me share another story. There was a man who went through tremendous loss. His job, his health, friendships. Yet every time someone spoke with him, he smiled. He'd say, "I'm grateful for today. I'm still breathing. God is still good." People left conversations with him feeling lighter, more hopeful. His joy was a beacon. His mind was disciplined to look for light. That's a legacy worth leaving. Let's talk about finishing strong. A disciplined mind doesn't give up halfway. It keeps choosing truth even when life is hard. It keeps moving forward when it would be easier to retreat. Your greatest legacy will be that you didn't quit, that you kept fighting for peace, for purpose, for truth, and that you helped others do the same. Here's what I want you to remember. Your mind is worth fighting for. Every battle you win in your thoughts is a victory for your family, your friends, and countless people you may never meet. Disciplining your mind is one of the most powerful, world-changing acts you can choose, because it unlocks the true you, the person God created, full of light, wisdom, and courage. So as we wrap up this part, hear this. You are not stuck. You are not beyond help. You are not too broken. Your mind can be renewed. Your patterns can change. Your life can transform, and the freedom you find will echo through the lives of everyone you touch. If you're committed to leaving a legacy of truth, peace, and freedom, type in the comments. My disciplined mind will change the world. Let's declare it together. Because you're not just transforming your life, you're transforming generations. In our final portion, we'll bring it all together in a message of hope and final encouragement. We'll talk about how to keep going, how to stand firm, and how to celebrate the beautiful journey you're on. Remember, your disciplined mind is a gift not just for you, but for the world. Keep building your legacy. You are needed. Imagine looking into the mirror one morning and realizing that the person staring back at you has changed. Their eyes are clearer. Their posture is stronger. There's a quiet confidence radiating from their face. That's what happens when you discipline your mind. It doesn't mean you're suddenly perfect. It means you've become the kind of person who knows how to fight for peace, who knows how to pull your thoughts back into alignment when they try to run wild, who can stand steady in storms because you're rooted in truth. And now, as we come to this final chapter of our journey, I want to remind you that you're capable of finishing strong. This isn't just a video. This is the beginning of a new way of living. Let's talk about what to do when you feel tired. Even with all the tools and truths we've shared, there will be days when you're exhausted, days when discipline feels impossible, days when your mind feels heavy and your emotions roar louder than your faith. I want you to know, that's normal. A disciplined mind doesn't mean you never feel weak. It means you know what to do when weakness comes. Here's how you keep going when you're tired. Simplify. On days when your mind is heavy, don't try to do everything. Go back to the basics. Breathe deeply. Speak one truth out loud. Take one small step forward. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep it simple. Ask for help. There's no shame in saying, "I'm struggling today." Lean on people who love you. Let someone else remind you of truth when your mind can't find it. Even a single conversation can shift your perspective and renew your strength. Remember progress, not perfection. If your mind fell into old patterns today, don't condemn yourself. Instead, say, "I had a tough day, but I'm still growing. Tomorrow is another chance." Mental discipline is not measured by how perfect your thoughts are. It's measured by how quickly you realign with truth, Another key principle for finishing strong is celebrating the small victories. Don't wait until your life is perfect to celebrate. Look for small wins every single day. I caught myself thinking negatively, and I stopped it. I prayed instead of panicking. I spoke kindly to myself instead of harshly. Each of these moments is proof that your mind is changing. Celebrate them. Let gratitude fuel you to keep going. Let me remind you of something beautiful. You're not who you were when you started this journey. Think back to where your mind was before you began learning these tools. You've grown. You've learned new language. You've discovered that your thoughts are not your identity. Even if you still struggle sometimes, that's okay. Growth is happening. Let's talk about how to stay strong when you're facing spiritual battles. Because here's the truth. The mind is the front line where many spiritual battles are fought. Lies, fear, discouragement. They're the weapons the enemy tries to use against you. But you are not defenseless. Here's how you fight back. Recognize the lie. When a thought makes you feel worthless, afraid, or hopeless, identify it as a lie. Refuse to partner with it. You have the power to say, I hear you, but I'm not agreeing with you. Replace it with truth. Speak truth out loud. For example, lie. I'm all alone. Truth. I am never alone. God is with me. Or lie. I can't handle this. Truth. I can do hard things with strength and courage. The enemy can't win in a mind full of truth. Every time you speak truth, you push darkness back. Your mind becomes a fortress that cannot be easily shaken. Let's talk about mental maintenance. Even after you've learned discipline, your mind still needs regular care. Just like you brush your teeth every day to keep them healthy, you keep tending your mind. Here's a mental maintenance checklist you can use daily. Did I speak truth over myself today? Did I interrupt any negative thoughts? Did I express gratitude? Did I guard what I allowed into my mind? Did I rest and give my mind space to breathe? Checking in with yourself like this keeps your mind sharp and healthy. Let me share another story. I once knew a woman named Elise. She used to wake up each day dreading life. Her thoughts were filled with darkness and shame. But she began practicing mental discipline, speaking truth, journaling, praying. One day she told me, I still have bad days, but now I know what to do when they come. I don't feel powerless anymore. That's the beauty of a disciplined mind. It doesn't erase struggle, but it equips you to overcome it. Here's another key principle for the long haul. Stay connected to people who speak life. If you surround yourself with people who only complain, fear, and doubt, it will drain you. Find voices who remind you who you truly are, what you're capable of. That hope is real. Those voices are part of your mental discipline strategy. They help you stay aligned with truth. Let's talk about joy as fuel. Joy is not just a feeling. It's a decision. Even in pain, you can look for something to celebrate. The beauty of a sunrise, a kind word from a stranger, the comfort of music or laughter. Joy strengthens your mind. It reminds you that even when life is hard, there's still good worth noticing. Another vital principle is living in the present. So many mental battles come from living in the past or the future. Discipline pulls you back to today. Ask yourself, what can I do right now? What truth can I hold on to today? How can I show up in this moment? When you focus on today, anxiety loses power. Peace grows. Here's a powerful phrase, I don't live there anymore. When old thoughts come knocking, reminding you of past failures, shame, or fear, declare, I don't live there anymore. That was the old me. I'm walking in truth now. This single sentence can slam the door on lies. Let's talk about the gift of resilience. Every time you choose truth, even when it's hard, you're building resilience. You're becoming someone who can handle setbacks without crumbling, face fear without running away. Keep moving forward, even when afraid. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. Another crucial truth: transformation takes time. Don't rush your journey. Some days you'll see huge progress. Other days you'll feel stuck. Both are part of the process. Be patient with yourself. Keep planting seeds. Keep speaking truth. Trust that growth is happening beneath the surface. Right now, pause and breathe. Let's declare some truths together. I am not my thoughts. I am stronger than I feel. I choose truth over lies. I am being transformed, one thought at a time. My disciplined mind will change my life and the lives around me. Say them out loud if you can. Let your ears hear your voice. Declaring freedom. Let's talk about hope. No matter how long you've struggled, it's never too late to discipline your mind. There is no thought pattern so deep that it cannot be changed. No darkness so strong that light cannot overcome it. Your story is not over. There are chapters still being written that you haven't imagined yet. And finally, remember this: you were created for freedom, not to live tormented by fear, doubt, or shame. You were made to walk in peace, in clarity, in confidence. A disciplined mind is part of that gift. It's how you step into the fullness of who you were designed to be. So as we bring this video to a close, I want you to hear me say, you are not stuck. You are not too broken. You are not beyond help. Your mind can change. Your life can transform. And the truth you choose today will shape your tomorrow. If this journey has impacted you, share this video with someone who needs hope. Let's be people who spread freedom and truth. And one last time, write in the comments: my mind is disciplined. My life is transformed. Let's fill this space with declarations of freedom. Thank you for staying with me through this journey. Remember, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter for you. Discipline your mind, and you'll transform your life. And the world will be better because of it. Stay strong. Keep choosing truth. And never forget, you are worth it.